Sermon on the Mount is out of Matthew's Gospel. And Matthew's Gospel has Jesus going up a hill, and he sits down and he teaches from the mount, from a high point down to a crowd that is gathered around him. Luke's Gospel, this section is considered and called the Sermon on the Plain. And there's a distinction that Luke is making here that is very different than what Matthew wants. Matthew wants this lawgiver, this Jesus, to be seated and giving authority and power to his statements, and so he has him above his people. Luke doesn't. Luke presents us with a Jesus who is very comfortable, extremely comfortable, wandering through crowds that have gathered around him, some of his disciples, some not. And Luke goes into detail talking about the region that these people have come from. Some are Jews, some are not. And there's simply a gathering of people who are drawn to who this Jesus is. They may not even know why they are drawn. They might not even know what it is that they're supposed to do. None of them recognize, none of them have officially become disciples except for the 12. The rest are rather interested. They're interested in what it is that Jesus has to say. They're also very intrigued by his ability to perform miracles. And so this story, the section right before this, talks about Jesus walking among his people, and as he is literally rubbing shoulders with them, he is healing them and curing them and making them whole. They don't even ask to be made whole. Jesus recognizes their infirmity, and because they have come to be with him and stand in his presence, then he is extremely comfortable being in their presence and gives them what they don't even ask for. But it goes beyond just healing. This Sermon on the Plain is because Jesus is walking among these people, and he knows that they are physically hungry. He knows that they are ostracized. He knows that they are broken and belittled by society. He knows that these people are gathering around him, and that what is truly wounded in them is not so much sometimes the physical, but it's the emotional and the inside connections and issues that they have, the situation and circumstances. And so Jesus makes it a point of calling out those who are hungry and saying, you know, but it's okay. You're going to be satisfied. He already knows, probably from physical manifestation, that some of them are weeping and sad and broken in so many different ways. And he goes, you know, it's okay. One day you will laugh. He goes on to say that, you know, people will hate you because you are come here and gathered in my presence. And it's okay, because one day you will be raised up. These aren't words of someone who needs to have divine inspiration. It is a simple person walking among other people and recognizing in their face and in their eyes where they are. And Jesus is going beyond what society would condemn them for, and he turns it all upside down. And he says to them, all of these things that you're suffering and struggling through, it's okay. It's okay, because one, here I am on the plain with you. Here I am walking among you. I'm here. And I promise you, you might not be fulfilled in this world, but there is a reality yet to come where you will be complete and fulfilled to your incredible heart's content. And that crowd, much like us today, we need to be reassured that in the face of illnesses that we deal with now, that there is healing. that in the midst of the struggle and the time constraints that we have and the worries and the anxieties we have, one day all of that will be put to rest and be at peace. That for all of our financial worries and concerns, that one day all of that will turn around. That for all the issues that we struggle with in our desire, to live a life that is good and wholesome and Christ-like, and all of our struggles, that there will come a time when all of that is restored and taken care of, all by the grace of God. Recognize, if you will, Jesus in these situations, he doesn't feed the hungry. He doesn't go over and take away the sorrow. He simply allows himself to be there with them in their struggle. This is probably the greatest part of our Christian tradition, is that we have a God who is not afraid to come down and to be here in our midst, walking among us, rubbing shoulders with us. And in some cases, God will act and restore. In other cases, the real healing comes from the recognition that this God is not distant, is not without care or concern, isn't at some great place in the clouds sitting afar off, isn't judging us, but rather is right here in our day-to-day, rubbing up against our shoulders and assuring us that, this is hard now, and I understand that, but I promise you, there will be a time and a place when all of this will come to pass, and there's a new reality. Hi, just wanted to thank you so much for watching the video. We hope that what you're coming away with is inspirational and a guide for your life. We're really glad you could be part of our community. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so that you can be continually updated with our new music videos, our new sermons, our new services that are published, so that you could stay connected with us. Thanks so much again. God bless you.